Military decision reversed? President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis during protests over immigration enforcement. But now he says he doesn't see a need to use it right now. What changed and what's next? Trump backs away from using Insurrection Act in Minneapolis after repeating threat. In the midst of escalating protests in Minneapolis over the federal immigration crackdown, President Trump suggested he might invoke the Insurrection Act, a rare federal power to send troops onto U.S. soil, but later said he doesn't see a need to use it right now. Why did he step back? Why this matters? Threatening to use the Insurrection Act, a law that allows the president to deploy the military domestically, is a dramatic step that raises constitutional and political questions. Backing away from that threat could reflect pressures from both political allies and public opinion. Full story. Background context. Protests in Minneapolis erupted after aggressive immigration enforcement actions and the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an ICES officer. Federal agents have made thousands of arrests in Minnesota as part of a broader crackdown. Trump's initial threat. President Trump warned he might invoke the Insurrection Act, a rarely used federal law that would allow active duty troops to be deployed domestically if state authorities could not control unrest. Critics said that move could escalate tensions and threaten civil liberties. Reversal or downgrade? On January 16th, Trump said he doesn't think there's any reason right now to use the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis, suggesting a shift away from the more extreme option, even as protests and federal enforcement continue. Political pushback. Some Republican lawmakers also urged caution, arguing local law enforcement could handle the situation and warning that military action on U.S. soil is a serious step. Local leaders' stance. Minnesota's state and local leaders, including the governor and mayor, called for de-escalation and peaceful protest, while also criticizing federal tactics, adding to the political complexity. Impact or significance. This development shows the balancing act between federal authority and public reaction, with major questions about constitutional powers and civil liberties at stake. The decision not to invoke the Insurrection Act, at least for now, could shape how future unrest is handled. Has the threat of military force changed U.S. politics, or was it political posturing? Leave your thoughts below and subscribe to One America Daily for comment-light, clear, fact-based coverage of U.S. politics and federal power. Should the president even consider using the military on U.S. soil for protests, or is it off limits in a democracy?